While hiking in a national park in Alaska, a man stumbles upon a bear cub drowning in a nearby river. He jumps in to save the cub, but then the mama bear turns around and does something unexpected. After several hours of hiking, Owen heard a piercing shrill above the sound of a nearby river. He wasn't expecting anything unusual, as his post-retirement days spent walking on Alaskan trails had always led to tranquil hikes on well-mapped paths. But this time, he sensed something different. That sound again. What could it be? He wondered, leading the paved trail to take a shortcut towards the river. Soon, he stumbled upon the source of the noise. It looked familiar, but he had no chance to dwell on that thought as something immediately caught his eye. A small figure struggled in the water. Squinting to get a clearer view, he was horrified to see a bear cub caught in the rapid flow of the river, barely keeping its head above the surface. Where is the mother? Owen wondered. A mama bear doesn't just leave her cub in danger. Without overthinking the unusual situation, he sprang into action by dropping his backpack and jumping into the river. The water was freezing, which he did not expect, but he did not let that stop him. As he waded toward the bear cub, his heart pounded with adrenaline, and he fought against the powerful current. Fortunately, he reached the cub in no time. He grabbed it, pulled it close to his chest, and swam back toward dry land with every bit of strength he had left. The chilled water threatened to pull him under, but he prevailed as he reached the shore before long with the bear cub safe in his arms. He was exhausted but relieved, and he collapsed on the riverbank. Meanwhile, the cub whimpered softly beside him while staring at him the whole time. It was afraid of this human, but also knew that he had saved its life. It then sniffed the air like it was searching for something, but after several sniffs, it gave up. After catching his breath, Owen looked down at the small creature with compassion. Its fur was matted and wet, but thankfully it was alive. As he noticed the cub sniffing the air repeatedly, he figured it might be searching for its mother using her smell. But its senses were not so developed yet. There was little it could do. Owen turned his attention to the river, still in disbelief that the water could be that cold. Suddenly, he realized that was the same river he had come upon the first day he got to Alaska. Such a magnificent beauty, he mused. He then absently rubbed the cub's fur, hoping the sun would dry it out soon. As he got lost in thought, he did not hear the sound of leaves crunching behind him until it was almost too late. Standing up in alarm, he tracked the sound with his eyes, and before he knew what was happening, a massive grizzly bear emerged from the woods. Its eyes were focused on the bear cub, but later switched to Owen like he was a threat. Owen was frozen in fear. The bear probably thought he had attacked the bear cub when, in fact, he had saved it. But he couldn't explain it to this creature, could he? He was running out of options. His mind raced. He quickly realized that the creature walking menacingly towards him was the mother bear, and she would clearly do anything to protect her offspring. Little did he know that something incredible was about to change the odds of his survival. Immediately, the bear cub saw its mother. It ran to her, whimpering loudly and expressing relief at the sight of a familiar face. The mama bear noticed how wet the cub was and the distress still in its eyes, but still had no idea what her baby had gone through. Her attention was briefly removed from Owen, who saw it as an opportunity to creep away. Unfortunately, the mama bear sensed what he was about to do and turned back to him. As she moved to attack, her cub stood between her and Owen. Having picked up on what was going on, it nudged its mother's paw with its snout and gave a low whine. It then looked at the river and back to her before turning to Owen. It repeated the action twice as if trying to explain what had happened. It also didn't want her to attack its savior. Owen dared not move. He prayed the mama bear would understand. After a few moments, the mama bear relaxed and affectionately caressed her cub. She then approached Owen with calm eyes. She finally understood that he had saved her cub and wanted to show gratitude. She stopped a few meters from him and moaned loudly, raising her head to the sky. She then returned to the forest with her cub, leaving Owen stunned and relieved as he kneeled down to catch his breath. Little did he know that saving the cub would soon save his own life. Owen never imagined a simple hike would turn into an extraordinary experience. He loved nature, and before retiring, he had worked for more than 30 years as a park ranger. He had faced many different and dangerous situations back then, from rescuing hikers to preventing poaching, but nothing even close to what had just happened. If he had known, maybe he wouldn't have chosen a park in Alaska. He had never been to any park in the state, hence his decision. Still, he had hoped it would have been worth it considering the research he had done. When the day finally came for him to leave the park, he packed every necessary item, but ensured not to overload since he was not as strong as he used to be when he was younger. The trip to Alaska was uneventful, but he knew his hiking adventure would make up for it. Getting to the reserve, he headed straight to the hiking trail. He was not jet-lagged from the trip and wanted to get familiar with the area immediately. As he began his trek, he was instantly amazed at the vastness of nature around him. He soon came across a narrow valley with walls carved by years of flowing water. As he approached the edge, he heard the rush of a river below. He was curious, so he made his way down the steep bank, carefully watching his footing on the loose rocks. When he reached the bottom, he was met with a memorable sight. A considerably large river, the clearest he had ever seen, rushed over smooth rocks with plenty of fish swimming through. As he stood at the edge, he told himself that he must come fishing in that spot before leaving Alaska. He clearly loved everything he had seen so far, so he decided to head back to prepare for the next day's hike. The following day, Owen planned for a 2-day hike, anticipating the thrill of exploring the wilds. He came across fellow hikers and some park guides, but chose to stay on his own. Though he was polite to them, these moments were too precious to spend with others. Amid his hike, his thoughts strayed to his years as a park ranger. He missed his job, but time made him retire. He was not as agile and strong as before and could easily be injured on the job because of his age. These thoughts pushed him forward. The second and last day of his hike began on a positive note. He decided to follow a different hiking trail and planned on taking pictures to show off to his kids and grandkids. Little did he know that the trail would lead him to save a drowning bear cub and almost get mauled by a mama bear. As he reflected on the unbelievable experience with the bears in the 2 days that he had spent surrounded by nature, he found an abandoned camp. What a strange sight! The embers were still burning, and there were many supplies and technical equipment left scattered here and there. Maybe it was the camp of the same hikers he had encountered a few days earlier. He had hoped they would have been more respectful of the surrounding ecosystem, but there were food cans all over the place. Now, Alaska is not such a densely populated region. However, it is still not wise to leave a camp unattended. Maybe they were all having a bath in the river nearby. He noticed a cell phone near the entrance of one of the tents. Now, this is strange. He began noticing the traces of the hiker's passage. As he was studying the situation, he noticed that there were many footprints all clustered together towards the trail that was leading out of the forest. The footprints were deeper than usual, and the width of the stride suggested that whoever took that trail was running. Oh God, could it be? Were they chased by the same bear? He felt remorse as he had been so shocked by his wild encounter that he forgot to signal the presence of the bear to the park rangers. But he had no idea that another predator was lurking in the bushes, watching his every move. He was about to return to the hiking trail when he heard a low growl from the underbrush not far from the river. He thought the mama bear had returned, but the sound was not coming from the same direction. His senses were on high alert, and he frantically thought of what to do. If he ran, the creature would surely catch up with his old legs, so that was not an option. There was nowhere to hide and no ranger nearby to come to his aid. He dared not shout for fear of triggering an attack. Still, without warning, a large gray wolf burst out of the bushes with its teeth bared and eyes focused on Owen threateningly. It had most likely left its pack to go hunting alone. Owen knew Alaska was home to a significant population of wolves, but he never expected to be attacked by one in the reserve. Besides, wildlife attacks rarely occur at game reserves, so why did this creature target him? Instinct kicked in, and he fumbled for a fishing rod in his backpack, hoping to scare the wolf away. But before he could react, it lunged forward. Fortunately, Owen was able to use his backpack to prevent the creature's powerful jaws from coming close to him. That would not last, and he had to think fast. The wolf was already tearing through the pack, its teeth getting closer to his face. He was not strong enough to hold on, and he began to lose hope. Who would come to his aid now? He regretted not joining the group of hikers he had met the previous day. The pictures he planned on taking were far from his thoughts, even the bear cub he had saved. His experience as a ranger could not help him either, but he kept fending off the wolf. He did not plan on losing his life just like that. Just when it seemed there was no chance of him surviving, Owen heard another deep, rumbling growl echoing through the forest. Not another one, he groaned. The wolf also heard the noise and sensed impending danger, releasing its grip on Owen's backpack and turning towards the sound. Relieved, Owen took the chance to create distance between himself and the wolf. As he cautiously moved away, a huge bear emerged from the bushes, accompanied by a cub. It was the cub Owen had saved, returning with its mother to help him. Owen was astonished. He never expected that the mama bear would come to his rescue. From a safe distance, he watched as the mama bear pounced on the wolf, swiping at it repeatedly and leaving bloody scratches on its fur. The wolf howled in pain and tried to fight back, but the bear's size and strength were overwhelming, forcing the wolf to flee. Once the wolf disappeared into the woods, Owen emerged from his hiding place and slowly approached the bear. The cub headed towards its mother but kept its eyes fixed on Owen. Unsure how to express his gratitude, Owen gave a quick salute to the bear, hoping it understood. The mama bear stared at him momentarily before returning to the woods with her cub. Owen would never forget the incident or his time in Alaska. He had experienced nature's raw beauty and faced challenges he never expected. As he trekked back to his lodgings, he knew he had a lot to share with his loved ones at home, and maybe he would return to Alaska someday. What an unexpected ending. Did you expect another predator to attack Owen so soon? What would you have done in his situation? We'd love to hear your thoughts, so please leave a comment below. See you in the next video.